All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to take a look at a very specific, very strange corner of the internet. It feels like pure, unfiltered chaos, kind of like a digital scrapbook of all our modern anxieties and obsessions. But is there some kind of hidden logic to it all? Let's find out.
So, you land on the page, and this is what hits you. It's a lot. It's this wall of symbols, hieroglyphs, and emojis. It's a total assault on your senses. And you know what? It's designed that way. It's meant to feel overwhelming, like a direct reflection of a mind that's just constantly processing a fire hose of digital information.
And then you start to scroll, and the post titles just come at you fast. Stuff like 4chan creatures living underneath U.S. highways. And you're like, okay, is this a deep dive into some obscure urban legend from the darkest corners of the web? Sure.
Then a few posts down, bam! The reptilian conspiracy. A total classic theory just presented there matter-of-factly. The range is just staggering, right? It jumps from fringe internet weirdness to these huge world-altering plots without even skipping a beat.
And to top it all off, you get a post from this week that ties all that chaos right into current events. It feels completely random, a total whirlwind of ancient myths and modern headlines. So you can't help but ask,
Is there really a method to this madness? Is there some actual algorithm connecting all these different dots, or is it just noise? Well, what's so fascinating is that the key to understanding this whole digital storm is actually hidden in plain sight, right there on the blog itself.
See, the blog doesn't just throw chaos at you. It actually gives you a map. It has its own guide, a kind of primer, that explains the intellectual framework holding this entire wild project together. And it starts by admitting exactly what we're all thinking.
This quote right here, it perfectly captures the blog's self-awareness. It knows it's overwhelming, and by admitting that, it kind of validates our confusion and invites us to look a little deeper. It's basically saying, yeah, I know, it looks crazy. Now, here's how to see the pattern.
So this guide, this primer, it breaks down the blog's entire worldview into 3 core themes. And these themes, they're the key. They're the decoder ring for the whole thing. Let's start with the first one.
So the first big pillar here is this fascination with what's called esotericism. Now, this isn't just about religion in the typical sense. It's really about the search for hidden systems of knowledge, the unseen forces that might be shaping our very existence.
And this definition, it's pulled directly from the blog's own map of the esoteric. I want you to notice how it frames this whole search not as some passive belief system, but as an active journey of self-discovery. It's all about encouraging questions.
And we can see this theme playing out in this week's most popular posts right now. You've got content questioning the established history of the Bible, and other posts digging into the hidden meanings behind stories we all know, like Aladdin. It's all about searching for the knowledge that got left out of the official story.
And that desire to question the official story, it flows directly into the second pillar, questioning the narrative. The search for hidden knowledge expands from the spiritual world right into our societal and political one.
And using the blog's own words, this interest isn't just framed as conspiracy theory, but as part of a truth movement. The goal here is to explore alternative viewpoints on, well, everything, from politics to science. It's all about challenging that mainstream story. If you look at this week's popular content, you see this skepticism in action. You have posts challenging scientific narratives about an engineered winter storm, while others are focusing on these figures who claim to have exposed hidden systems. It's all about asking, is what we're being told the whole truth?
So, after questioning the systems of the past and the present, the blog naturally turns its focus to the future. The third and final pillar is this intense fascination with technology's role in basically reshaping what it even means to be human.
The blog's own primer lays out these key futuristic concepts that it's always tracking. We're talking artificial intelligence, the singularity, that kind of scary point where tech might become uncontrollable, and even simulation theory. On this blog, these aren't just sci-fi ideas. They're treated as serious areas of investigation.
And this week's content really shows that range. You'll find these huge, sweeping analyses of a potential post-human technocracy right next to super personal posts about unplugging from an AI. So the blog is looking at the future on both a massive societal level and a really small personal one.
Okay, so let's take a step back. We have our 3 big pillars: hidden spiritual knowledge, alternative political theories, and all this speculative futurism. But how do they connect? I mean, what's the logic that links ancient mysticism to a future AI?
This quote from the primer, this is it.
This is the absolute core of the whole project. The key idea here is that nothing gets dismissed. A seemingly random celebrity video is treated with the exact same curiosity as some deep geopolitical analysis. Why? Because everything is a clue. Everything is a potential data point in one single, vast, interconnected stream of information.
So this slide basically lays out the entire method. It's pretty simple, actually. First, you investigate unseen spiritual systems. Then, you apply that exact same lens to unseen societal and political systems. And finally, you use that whole framework to try and understand emerging technological systems. It's one unified approach to investigating hidden power structures across all of time. And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about here, get this. That's the number of posts from just last year, alone. This isn't some casual hobby. This is a relentless, obsessive effort to capture and process as many of those data points as humanly possible.
So if you're brave enough to dive in yourself, the blog suggests a few starting points. You can browse the labels, which range from the very serious, like truth, to the more personal, like fucking hilarious. You can check the popular posts, or you can explore the curated pages for a more structured deep dive into a topic.
And all of this leaves us with the central question that this blog really forces us to think about. In a world with an endless stream of information, what's the real difference between seeing a pattern and believing in a conspiracy? Where do you draw that line? That's the challenge this whole algorithm presents, and honestly, it's one it leaves for all of us to figure out.